Hello and welcome back to another happy hour. I am one of your hosts today, Ryan Fring, a co-creative director, one of the creative directors here at Backflip. And John's out. He's usually here, but joining me today is Jeff Bell. Let's see. I'm going to switch over to Jeff. Where's Jeff? There's Jeff. Say hey, Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
Awesome. We just came up with this a couple days ago because you're also good friends with Max and Jordan. And I don't know how it came up, but I was like, what do you think you want? And you're like, I'm in. I'll come on. I'll be on the show.
Sure, yeah. Let's do it.
So
I don't have work to do or anything like that.
No. Nothing better. I mean,
perfect. Yeah.
I mean, I am paying you for this, so
this is true. So
it counts.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Joining us today, we've got Maximilian Olmsted, which I think I got all the I's and L's in there.
You did.
Thanks
You
for
spelled my name right, which is impressive. A lot of people don't.
Thanks for joining us. I feel like I've spelled it enough times I shouldn't screw it up. And then we've also got Jordan Johnson over here.
Hello.
From Chicago. Thanks for coming on today, guys.
Very, very newly from Chicago, yes.
Yeah, so we kind of always start off with a little bit of an introduction, but since you guys, this is about improv and acting and silliness, because that's all a part of your story and our association together, which I love, I'm wondering, Jordan, can you introduce yourself as if you were Max? And then Max, you introduce yourself as if you're Jordan.
Oh, I'm very curious to hear what that means to Max.
Yeah.
This would be great. So,
honestly, the weird thing about that is if we're introducing ourselves as each other, you're just switching the names out. Because besides that, we're basically the same.
in both personality and vocal range, too.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So if I were to introduce myself as Max, I would just be like, hello, I'm Max Olmsted. I am a video producer and
exactly how I would be.
Artist. And then if I were to throw it over to my friend over here, Jordan Johnson.
I don't think Max talks with that many pauses.
Hello, my name is Jordan. I recently moved to Chicago about, 18 and a half days ago. And
recently become a mobster.
Yeah, because I'm in Chicago, I now have a different voice. I don't know if you know this, but if you move to Chicago, you have to develop a certain cadence that other people can,
Brooklyn cadence?
A Brooklyn cadence, yeah.
That's true. It is kind of New York. I like it.
But yes, in actuality, Jordan helps me out with, he's my assistant editor for a show called Element 14 Presents, which is a electronics web series where what we do is we're sponsored by a company called Element 14, who sends electronics components to our content producers all around the world. They make something cool with that thing. They film themselves doing it. They send the footage back to Jordan and I, and then we edit that into a weekly series. So that is actually what we do without the improv.
Boo. No, that was great. You cheated. And we did have Ben on a couple weeks ago, which is really, really fun. And that's kind of how we all got together the first time. I think we were aware of you through the grapevine. You were producing content, and we got a call like, hey, want to help out producing this show, this YouTube show called The Ben Heck Show. And I was like, what? Like, I had heard about Ben back in, 2004 or something, 2006, like on G4 TV. I don't know if you guys remember that one, which is coming back in 2021.
Of course it is, because
really?
everything old's coming back.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Everything old is new again.
Everything goes in cycles.
Hopefully, what's his name? Olivia Munn and the dude. And then you have Adam. I'm apparently terrible with names.
One of them.
X-Play. Yeah. But I'd first seen Ben on X-Play on there, and so just was kind of a fan through the years, so got super excited. We connected with you, brought you on as our video producer on the ground, and, in some way, the rest is history.
And I remember when that happened because I just started working here, and all of a sudden I hear that they're hiring a new editor, producer, and I'm like, did I do something wrong?
Am I in trouble?
Yeah, am I in trouble? Am I not working right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Why didn't you ask me?
Yes.
Jeff, I actually think you got the job Max initially applied for. So really,
Actually,
Correct.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I was about to say inside story on how that happened. I had reached out to Backflip because I was just looking for video work because at the time I was working as a server at Bonfire, which is a restaurant in Madison.
Mhm.
And I started doing freelance with Backflip, and then this editing position came up, which both Jeff and I applied for. I ended up losing out, but you guys still liked me in the end. And so when this Ben Heck Show thing came up, you're like, hey, I know a guy. I can do this thing.
Yeah.
Because they're also kind of that like 1930s Hollywood people. Hey, I know a guy that can do this.
I know a
for us."
guy.
I know a guy for that.
Anytime
There's going to be so
anytime
many
I'm
voices.
impersonating a producer, they have like a cigar in that accent for some reason.
Well, basically, anytime you're impersonating anyone,
Anyone, yeah.
have an accent that's that accent because that's the only accent that
It's Brooklyn, or it's like the talkies. You know, like
Talkies.
he's got a certain
I'm a
set of
talkie.
skills that we need. Bring him on.
I'm a 1930s announcer for the news.
And all right,
Exactly.
so that's how we kind of got connected with you, and we've been doing creative stuff, outside of the professional stuff as well since then. Now, where does Jordan come in? Have you guys been long friends? Did you guys meet here? Like, tell me the story.
We both grew up in Madison, and we were childhood friends. We were both making our own home videos since we were like small children. We both separately found our parents' like old camcorders, and we're like, "This is great! My little brother is going to be the star of a show now." And we both have little brothers, and we just like made movies all the time. And then when we finally got introduced to each other, we were like, "Oh my gosh, we do this same exact thing. We should do that together." So we just started
The
making
exact same
videos about it.
person.
Yeah, we're the same. Weird. Both have a little brother, both obsessed with movies and filmmaking, and we were absolutely terrible when we started, but we've honed that craft together, which is great.
We were also both friends with this kid named Caleb, who was kind of hiding hiding me from Jordan because he was afraid that Jordan and I would become best friends and leave him, which is exactly what ended up happening.
You guys, Caleb is watching, and he's got a few words to say.
And now he knows.
Well, he should also know, if he's watching, that we pretty much only went to his house because he had really cool snacks and a trampoline.
Oh, yeah.
So it gets even worse. It gets way worse.
I did something like that as a kid. We were all trash kids, I'm sure, to some degree.
Well, me and Max both grew up extremely poor, and Caleb grew up in Wanakee, and he had a trampoline.
Yeah, and we were like, this is paradise.
That's a sign of
Go to your
affluence, yeah.
Yeah. You have like little packs of Oreos that I can sneak into the closet and steal, and
You have a whole closet full
fantastic.
of snacks. It's
Yeah.
unheard of.
You're like, we're just playing with dirt and eating berries that we find. Like, that's our entertainment.
I eat in the backyard most of my days.
Yeah, that was my lunch. Just like leaf, berry, leaf sandwich. And then that's what happened.
Being poor. Also, we've got a comment here from Jeff Bell. He said, "Don't make me ask my own questions." So we're off to a great start here. Wait, I don't hear you, Jeff.
Jeff, you're muted or something.
Sorry, I did that again.
It happens.
I was muting it while I was typing, so you didn't hear.
Do you hear me typing?
The only problem with having the microphone attached to the desk is that it can pick up all the sounds.
So I want to do this a little bit different. We'll keep talking about whatever we're talking about. But the conversation will continue. I do want to mix in some games.
Sure.
And one of the games that we normally play later is Two Truths and a Lie, but I'm going to do that a little bit earlier. We'll start with that just to kind of get us going a little bit more, learn more about each other. And I think you guys have prepared a little bit. So we don't need me to vamp much. And
True.
what we'll do, we'll start... True. Yeah, we don't need you to vamp anymore. Can you... I do appreciate any types of tips and tricks you guys have as well if I'm doing something wrong, because I'm also producing everything. My friend
A
Rob.
lot to do.
My friend Rob. Oh, that's what I was looking for, so thank you. My buddy Rob, who was on this. very quickly pointed out that I was skipping people and not doing this, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for helping host because I'm doing a terrible job. So you guys already know the rules. You're going to tell 2 truths and 1 lie, and we all have to try to find the lie. And we'll start with Jeff and myself, just to give you a minute if you want to think. Save the best for last. And Jeff, if you're prepared, you can go. Otherwise, I've already pre-prepared all this. So shaking your head, yes, I'll go first.
If you want to go first, I got to decide what my other truth is. I'm a little rusty.
Just make it up. Make it a lie. Make them all lies.
Make up a lie of a truth?
Yeah.
Now you go first. Let me think.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. These are 3 truths. All right, so the only celebrity I've ever seen, like in person, like randomly, within 6 feet. I don't know why I'm qualifying this so much. Was in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was Reese Witherspoon at a burger joint.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she had some bodyguards, and we tried to like clandestinely take pictures. It was pretty fun. Number 2.
She walks around with bodyguards all the time.
I mean, I'm not around her all the time, so.
I hate to have bodyguards.
Just in this one case in this restaurant.
Yeah.
So then, truth number 2. I got to shake hands with Obama back in 2012 because he came to Madison. He was on Bascom Hill, and they had like a little receiving line. I mean, I was like one of thousands, but I was also working at the library at the time, the Memorial Library. So because we were like in the area, got to come out of the building and go up, not to the front of the line, but just we got to the top of the line. So we didn't have to wait long. So then my third truth, is I'm going to go see Tenet tonight. Tenet. I don't even know what the movie is. Christopher Nolan joint.
Is that out?
And I'm not going to catch COVID. Actually, I don't know about that part, but I am going to go see a movie.
Hopefully.
So those are my 3: Reese Witherspoon, Obama, Christopher Nolan.
Who should guess first? Does it matter?
Maybe Jeff. I mean, we've kind of known each other the longest. It depends. Have you guys watched this? Like, if you have been watching this, you might know which ones are truth and which ones are lies, because other people might have said these truths or lies.
I don't know for sure. Jeff, do you want to guess, or I can go?
I know. I think the lie is the Reese Witherspoon one.
Interesting. One for Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Reese Witherspoon one is also a lie because I don't think she'd be walking around with bodyguards.
I think that it's the Obama one, because in the Reese Witherspoon one, you said that you've only met one celebrity, and I would kind of consider Obama a celebrity.
Ooh, technicality.
That's some good sleuthing.
Mm-hmm.
And you win. Max wins.
I win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could consider Obama a celebrity, but we did see Reese Witherspoon.
Was it you? For some reason, I thought it was John that showed, because you have a photo, didn't you? Didn't you guys snap like a really quick kind of candid photo?
John snapped the photo.
Oh, that's what confused me.
Yeah, we were trying, like, me and the client were leaning together. We were there on a shoot, actually, for filming a documentary, and it just happened to be a popular restaurant, and Reese was, may I call you Reese, was opening a restaurant next door, a clothing shop next door, and was having like a launch party or something. And so she was there, and she had 2 bodyguards, I think. I mean, they were just dudes who were like jacked, just like standing there. And then when we were trying to take photos, like they just like stood in the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And one of them actually came up to me, and I had like a whole camera package on a tripod just sitting there. And they're like, sir, I know you're probably not filming, but if you don't mind, you just turn that camera away from that room.
Wow.
And so immediately we're like, what's going on in that room? And then
I feel like
Go
I
ahead.
feel like that would feel really isolating to always have bodyguards around you and not be able to interact with strangers.
Well, I don't know if she always has bodyguards.
That's true. Yeah.
And she probably
That's
can.
where Burger's going, I'm telling you.
She's probably not captive where she can't interact with people.
Yeah. True. But it's also weird because then you have kind of this silent audience that is like monitoring everything.
Yeah, it was intense. I immediately felt like I was going to get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's me. So I am seeing a movie tonight. Super
Nice.
excited.
Is it in town?
What's that?
Is it in town?
Yeah, everyone's open this week.
Are they? Oh.
Yep.
I just stopped looking because I assumed.
Yeah.
I know,
nothing's
me
open
too.
anymore.
Yeah. Yep. But we're back. Let's
All right,
actually,
Jeff
Jeff,
Rotein,
you're up,
me.
but let's pause real quick and just mention what you're drinking because this is an important part of our happy hour. I'll go quick. I'm drinking the last dregs of this tequila that I've had before, which is really, really good.
Ooh.
Um,
What kind of tequila?
This is Casamigos. It's a reposado, so it's like aged in. I believe that means it's aged in like oak barrels.
Yum.
Yeah, it's just really creamy and tasty. Got that, and then I've got some sparkling hard seltzer, which is really good. So that's what I've got. What do you guys got?
I've got a Buffalo Trace bourbon, but
Ooh.
it's mixed. It's mixed with sour mix and amaretto, so it's like whiskey sour, but with some amaretto in there as well. It's delicious.
Just a glass of joy.
Mhm.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic Jordan. Yeah, I've had this drink before because Jordan made it for me, and in my opinion, it kind of tastes like Mountain Dew. But I mean, if you're into that,
Well, no, I just gave you an amaretto sour. This one is
Oh.
cut with bourbon, so it's not as sweet at all.
so this would be a little different.
This would be much different.
It'd be like Code Red. Yeah. Very different.
I'll have to try.
extremely different, completely different color.
Yeah, so different. What do you
So
got?
I am drinking a one that I've wanted to try for quite a while. It's Jameson Caskmates, which is Jameson, but finished in beer barrels. And what I've found is that it doesn't taste much different than regular Jameson, unfortunately. That's my review. I thought it would be like smoother and have a slightly different.
I'd love to see that
taste,
on
but-
on like right below like wine, wine viewer or whatever. Like it doesn't taste that different. 4.5 stars.
The same.
Yeah.
93%.
If you like Jameson and you want to pay more money for it, you can buy this type of Jameson.
If you're a fool like me, buy this.
Yes. That reminds me of the time my brother and I were going to get salmon at Willie Street Co-op. And for some reason, I was reading the price sign and didn't understand that the price was per pound. So I was like, oh, $14 for that whole thing of salmon. Oh, sure, I'll get that, of course.
What a
And
good
so-
deal.
What a great deal. And it was this huge thing of salmon. And I'm like, man, I'm like making out like a bandit with this fish. And so I'm like, I'll take the whole thing. And they wrap it up for me and everything. I see the price and it's $80. And because I was too embarrassed to be like,
Oh,
I completely misunderstood this.
yes,
I
yes.
instead just bought it. And we made a ton of salmon and it lasted a couple weeks.
Didn't the butcher look at you really weirdly when you said the whole thing?
He did. Yeah, he did.
I'll take all of it. We're having a salmon party.
We're having a huge salmon party.
We came specifically for salmon.
Came for the salmon.
So sorry, Jeff. What are you drinking?
Oh, found this in the fridge. It's the black cherry truly hard seltzer.
Oh,
I decided that because it's a Friday, as much as I do enjoy my whiskey, it's too early for my whiskey, so I need to just save that for later. It's going to be a very long, fun weekend, and I don't want to party too hard.
Also, I think I've hoarded it all. I think it's all in here. I got
But the
Game of
he
Thrones
has all the hard
whiskey.
liquor. There's
What is this? Another whiskey.
the pig, the rye. We have a
Oh,
Whistle Pig.
Dancing
We have that
Goat?
above. Oh, we have Dancing Goat stuff too as well.
Wait,
Yes.
is Whistle Pig something?
Is that not what's up on the top shelf?
I thought that was just a really bad guess of dancing goat. It's some verb and some animal. No, that's okay. We'll go to your.
No, I can
truths and a lie.
confirm. I just looked it up. Whistle pig is a thing. So
Yeah, no, I'm
we
telling you,
apparently have it.
it's a thing.
Whistle pig's real.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I just thought he was making it up.
That's what happens.
All right,
Can't
Jeff.
tell the truth from the lie. That's classic improv right there.
Oh,
Just warming you guys up.
Classic comedy.
classic yes and.
Classic comedy. Is he lying? You don't know.
You have no idea.
That's what comedy's about. Lying.
Lying.
Yeah.
Lying. Yeah.
All right,
It's
Jeff.
a little break from being yourself. That's what comedy is.
Okay, so
Yes.
truth number one, I can talk. No,
Lie.
here's my that would be truthful, actually. All right, so number one, a distant relative of mine was the inspiration and was heavily influential to the composer Chopin. Number two, I was nominated for a Streamy Award for Best Visual Effects of a web series, but lost to a web series starring Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, and Kane Hodder, Jason Voorhees.
Interesting.
Damn.
That'd be worth
Or
it.
number three, I appeared, but very, very briefly, in the background scene of a movie because when I used to go out to Hollywood, I would always walk around the Warner Brothers backlot because I was able to get in, not illegally. And I accidentally passed through a filming scene and nobody noticed.
What was the filming scene? Do you know?
Do you
I
know?
don't want to go. It was a movie for some like indie action film that they were filming on the backlot, the small town set, where they filmed like the Muppets and Elvira and the Monster Squad.
Follow-up questions are legit. And for those watching at home, you can go ahead and guess as well.
Yes.
Luke,
Give you all time.
Luke, who's listening through the wall, I think says
Creeper.
third is a lie.
I feel
Which
like whichever one is your lie it's going to be one of those things where it's almost true, but one detail is a lie.
Yeah, the technicality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the third one is you walk through a movie, like a live movie set, and nobody noticed. Was like a shot going on, or like you just walked through a live? Okay.
I walked through and the shot was the camera was on the end of the city street and I was on the far end.
How did you know it was happening?
Because after I got halfway through it, I turned around and I heard the director yell "cut," and I had kind of stepped back and realized that, that like the cameras were facing this direction.
That's
So then,
wild.
Interesting. That sounds like it could be your story, or it could be your friend's story.
If it's a lie, I'm never trusting you again because this is a long stint of you just like spewing untruths.
And then number two was the Streamy. You were nominated, but got beat by horror film.
Streamy, but got beat by another web series.
I think the first one's the lie. That's what I'm going to go with.
What's the first
And
one?
the first one was my relative is the inspiration and influential for Chopin.
Yeah, because the reality is he was an influence for Johann Sebastian.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's like someone else.
Swede.
All right, so we got one vote for what is that? The first one. Luke voted for the third one.
I'm going to go the second one because
Second one.
I think you were beat out by something different.
I love that you all go for like technical things like that.
Yeah.
That's the reason y'all kind of know me a lot.
I'm going to go with the third one because I feel like maybe it's not your story.
All right. You want to know the answer?
Yeah, what's the answer?
The answer is the third one is completely and utterly made up.
Oh, wow.
Not even another person.
Nice.
There's some basis of truth. I have walked around the Warner Brothers backlot,
Right.
the studio backlot numerous times. I have seen filming of different television shows, different programs. I have sat there and watched, but I was never in the background of it. So yes, you guys were right about the technicality of it. So I guess it's not completely made up, but it wasn't a movie.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Yeah, and you, your friend who lives out there.
Yep.
What's his name?
Joe,
who
just got nominated for an Emmy.
That's right. Wow. And there was a little article in the Janesville Gazette, I don't know, about it, which is awesome.
Nominated Best Editing for his episode of Will and Grace that he was the lead editor on. So
that's so cool.
That's awesome.
That is great.
He's like, I don't know if I can't say that. I gotta wait. He doesn't know if he won or not.
Okay.
Like, he won't know until the day of.
So we won't jinx it.
Oh, that's exciting.
There's been like some preliminary stuff he's had to do because the Emmys are obviously going to be live streaming this year. Yeah. So they had to like plan some stuff ahead of time, but he doesn't even know if he won.
Just say thank you, just in case.
Yeah,
that's probably a good way to do it. Like if you have 4 nominees, be like, okay, everyone say thank you.
Yep.
Don't know who's going to win. Right. You know, we're not going to give it away. Because you've told stories about like you and Joe going on tours and things like that. So.
Yeah, because Joe used to work. Actually, he worked at Warner Brothers for years, so I'd always just go and spend the day with him at the set. And the rule is that as long as you look like you're supposed to be there, no one's ever going to question your presence.
You mean the rule of life?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still doing it. Like 15 years later, I'm still just pretending to look like I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But like people used to stop me and think like they'd ask like, "Well, what show do you write on?" Because everybody thought I was a writer. Because I apparently looked like the other writers.
Yeah.
And I wanted to so many times tell people that I'm like, oh, I was working on Big Bang Theory or whatever. But like, I figured by the time I did that, they were working on Big Bang Theory. And they'd be like, you're lying.
Which I just heard today. The theme song was written 15 minutes before the pitch meeting with Chuck Lorre. Yeah. So the Bare Naked Lady singer, I don't know their names. Yeah. He had gotten off of tour, was at his lake house, had the phone call, hadn't done anything, and it was going to be like, guys, sorry, I didn't do it. But he told his wife, he had this thing, and his wife's like, well, who's on it? And he said, Chuck Lorre or something. And she's like, oh my gosh, you better Google him. And he Googled him, and he's like, okay, I better figure something out. Took a shower, in the shower, wrote it, recorded it real quick. They listened to it, and they're like, we love it. This is exactly what we want. And he's like, they're like, can we have it? And he's like, can I record it like in studio with a big band? Like, let me do this.
Like the rest of the band.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's crazy.
Fun connection. All right. So we did myself and Jeff. Now Max or Jordan, who's ready?
I'm ready.
Do it. Let's do it.
Go for it.
So I prepared ahead because Max told me to have this prepared. However, he told me that that each of these things was more of like a story rather than just a fact.
I mean, Jeff told stories. Ryan told stories.
I guess.
I lied for a good solid 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, so I have 2 truths and a lie, but they're all part of. They're small stories that are all part of one large story.
Do it.
I like that.
It's all thematically connected.
This hasn't been done before. I like it a lot.
You overthought it. I love it. Let's go.
I overthought it a lot. So, way back, this all connects to back in the day when Max and I were aspiring to be better filmmakers, and we wanted to enter something into the Wisconsin Film Festival, and which they only really accept like actual films, but we weren't aware of that. So we're like, we're gonna do this
at all.
So we made a short film, and Max was having an especially artsy phase. I'm gonna put in quotes. So we really wanted an underwater shot for this. This is the first part of the story, by the way. We wanted an underwater shot for the film, and we had a pretty bad camera. So the best idea we had for doing an underwater shot was to get a really large jar and put our camera inside of it. But we needed a large enough jar, so we bought like
a big jar, even for a DSLR.
Yeah. We bought like one of those like 5-gallon jugs of pickles, but we needed there to not be pickles in it, so we spent like 3 days eating pickles out of the sink because we poured all the pickles out.
Oh my gosh!
the big pickles. They're like those mega pickles because it's
gigantic,
huge. So we're just eating pickles for days and cleaning out this jar so we can put our camera in it. So that's the first part of the story. The second part of the story is the shot we needed. Max wanted to film in the lake. Unfortunately, it was late into the fall and it was very cold outside. So Max is dressed in a suit with clown makeup on. This is part of the artistic part of the film.
It was very artsy.
I'm carrying a huge empty pickle jar.
I just want to say, if something says artsy to me, it's a suit with clown makeup.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Very artistic. Great.
So here are me and Max. This all falls under the theme of Max getting me to do things that I wouldn't normally agree to. Somehow he has this persuasion over me. Anyway, so we're walking towards the lake, and it's like 40 degrees outside, and he has a suit with clown makeup on, and I have a huge empty pickle jar with a camera and blankets shoved in it. And then we slowly wade into the lake as onlookers are like, who are these people?
And to add, we had to press record before we put it in the jar, because once it's in the jar, there's no control happening. There's nothing going on. No, there's no focusing. There's no anything.
So then it's just me and him dipping into the lake. We can't feel any part of our bodies. We're shivering because it's so cold. And he's like dunking his head in the water, and I'm trying to push a large pickle jar under the water so that we can get the shot. And then the third part of the story is that the shot came out perfectly. We managed to get our film in on time, and it all worked out great. And we got in. It was wonderful. That's the third part.
That's
number three is the lie.
I feel like the filmmakers
100%
know that's a complete lie, Pete.
That's impossible. You could have said, it was really difficult and we had a couple issues and we turned in like a somewhat rough version on time. Totally would have believed that. But
we did end up getting it in on time, but that shot was not worth it at all. Like, filming through the end of a pickle jar doesn't give you a very good picture, especially in Lake Monona. It's not good.
But I have heard if you're wearing a suit and clown makeup, it kind of balances the quality of that shot.
It's true.
And you have a greater chance of getting arrested.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were walking back to the car, and I was just in this suit and clown makeup, just soaked, and I'm like, let's walk fast, walk fast, walk fast.
Somebody's going to think we murdered somebody.
And we filmed it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Cold. Yep, so
cold.
Definitely number three.
Completely out of focus because we couldn't focus it once it was in the jar, as I said. And so what I ended up having to do was put the makeup on and suit on again and do this in my bathtub. So same method, just me dunking my head in the bathtub. So many questions.
Okay, so what is the shot that you still put the suit on and the makeup and you could do it in a bathtub? Because like that seems like you can see like this much, right?
Oh yeah, you can see barely anything. Really, putting the suit on seems like it was just for me because you cannot tell that I'm wearing a suit in the shot.
Oh my gosh!
It's just like you can see part of your face dunking into the water.
Oh my gosh!
That's that. Yeah.
But I will say that it was good that we made it because I got that like artsy phase out of my system. And then we moved on to other things. So, always important to keep.
Yeah.
Max changed his idea about how every movie he made from then on was going to be in black and white.
That's amazing. Like, I just imagine that you also had eyeliner and a scarf you just kind of lean into it.
I was huge hipster man back then. I mean, I'm still a little bit of a hipster, but not to the extent that I was.
It wasn't even like you wore scarves. It was like you wore like custom T-shirts that only you knew what they meant. Like one. Yeah.
You're more about my. We're just revealing my personal.
I mean, you're also talking to two other people. I can speak for myself, and I believe I can speak for Jeff over here, who have made their own, personal shirts and wore them, with people not knowing what the hell they are. So you're in good company.
Yeah,
I
and-
created my own fake bands. I mean, come on, guys. And
Yeah,
those are the
true,
covers.
true,
Like, come on.
True,
Yep.
very true. Yeah, so I also had custom Converse that I made that looked like clown shoes. So there was like different colors for each piece of fabric on the shoe.
Oh,
And then also in high school, I wore this like fedora with a feather coming out of it.
Oh
It was-
I
my.
don't remember that.
Were you a
it was-
pimp in high school?
It was pretty wild.
if you have photos,
You forgot the best part of the shoe, which is that he had it monogrammed on the bottom, except it just said, "Hi, I'm Shoe."
So the shoe had character. The shoe was like a being. for
Your
some
clown
reason.
verses that you bought.
Yes,
You
get
made.
my clown verse. I like it.
it almost sounds like the experience I had at UW Milwaukee. Like you went through that film program and were just convinced that that's how you make movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I mean, hey, look, I started making things back in middle school with Joe, my best friend Joe, and like our stuff was, it was a camera that had a cord and attached to a VCR,
Yeah.
and like it could only go 2 feet away from the VCR, and that was the only way we could make stuff. Even though I grew up knowing how movies were made in Hollywood, that is how I thought you made your own movies. Like unless you went to Hollywood where they had the actual equipment,
Yeah.
that was the only way that you could make your movies. So the day when we had a camera where we didn't have to plug it into the VCR, our little heads were like exploding
Yeah.
because it was
I
like,
remember, I
what do we
remember
do?
when Max first got a camera that he could actually connect to his computer, and we were like, "This is going to revolutionize."
Yeah,
Mine.
and use
You
like
could-
use an
you could
editor.
do-
Yeah,
yeah, you
Yeah.
could do takes. You didn't have to just go, well, that take that we did was horrible. Let's rewind the tape and
And
hope we don't
record.
tape over what
Yeah.
we previously
Mhm.
did, and let's film it again. Like
Yeah,
to be able to do edits, cut
yeah.
away from a camera
And there is
without having to
there is a
find
middle
way-
step in there. How many of you use multiple tape decks to play and record to do some editing with
I did.
VHS? Yeah,
We
I
did.
did
Yes,
in high
yeah.
school.
yeah, exactly.
That was
yeah.
which was
I
just-
don't know about your VCR, but with mine, when you hit the record or stop button, there was a lag, so I had to take into account when it was actually going to stop after I clicked the button.
Literally has to get up to speed
Yep.
and then slow back down. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why there would, like, in all the old stuff that we used to do, with each cut there would be like it cuts to like 5 different shots in between that cut.
yes,
Every
the different
I
I
edits.
couldn't get it perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's
Max,
why you say
remember-
speed. When audio and film is up to speed, because the tape, it's got to wind, and go.
makes sense.
That's the exact reason.
That makes sense.
Fun fact.
Max, do you remember when you found Womble?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
So I didn't. You can tell the story.
Wobble?
I was just going to say,
Wobble?
well, we managed to be able to edit on the computer, but all of our computers were so terrible that they were too slow and they couldn't edit on any software. Like, I tried using, like, Windows Movie Maker, and my computer just would crash because they were so slow.
Constantly.
So Max found this, like, freeware program called Womble,
Mm.
and it was so much better than anything we had before. It was...
It was a revelation.
It was
Like-
so good, though. Yeah, we were like, you can put sound effects in with this. You can,
Like
it was
like
amazing.
you could hit play and the video would actually play when you hit space instead of having to wait like a few seconds. It was
Oh my
great.
goodness, this interface is so late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you look up
Oh,
Womble?
go ahead and
Womble MPEG Video Wizard DVD version.
go ahead and screen
Oh,
share.
okay.
Screen share that, and I'll pull you up.
That was the
okay.
first-
Share with the
that was
class.
The first thing.
Hold
That's
on,
the first
everybody.
thing
We're gonna
we ever edited on.
share my screen. So I found like this tiny little thumbnail. Can you guys see this?
Yep, there it is.
Oh,
This little
Yep. Yes.
M-
it
MPEG,
was so
MPEG
good.
Video Wizard. Oh my god.
look at this. Look at what is this? This looks like it's like some another language, but like look at the gradient. Look at the buttons. Like the user interface in this is horrendous.
This was a revelation to us back then.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let's go ahead. Look, let's see if we can actually find like a better.
This was the peak
Oh my
of
goodness.
technology.
here,
Oh my
I'm gonna do something super non-technological. Where'd that go? Oh, go ahead and share it. Hang on.
Am I not sharing it still?
I can see it.
Oh, hang on. I clicked on something else. So, oh my gosh. You
This
guys
is it, right?
can't see the coolness that's happening.
Yeah,
I remember
that is it.
those little Rubik's Cubes video file things. I remember that. That was
Those
like the effects.
I like how the Rubik's Cubes are not changing. They tell you nothing about what the effect is. It's
Right.
just like a duplicate.
They're like, well, we can't just have a list, so we have to have an icon. But what icon are we going to show it working? Well, we can't. It's not powerful enough to show it working. So let's just throw the thumbnail in. Also, what is like? This is so out of date. Up here, is there like? Is it a cassette tape to
that
represent
is a
the
cassette
audio?
tape. Mhm. Yep, that is what that is.
Oh my gosh!
This was the best we had.
This
And it was so good at the time.
This is
For
the
us.
story of filmmaking. Like
I
using
edited-
whatever the heck you can.
Yeah,
my trilogy of short films from high school were edited on an iMac, the old school like clamshell looking like big like
The colored
Here.
ones?
the colored ones.
Yeah, the
on
candy
one
color.
of those on the built-in video editor software, and then it was re-edited a few years later on my PC, but on like no joke, I'm pretty positive it was a version of Windows Movie Maker or like Cyberlink like editing software.
Yes,
And
Cyberlink.
it feels
Oh my gosh.
so much like mine looked a lot like this as well. Just these two big ugly
Yep.
windows, and just you only have enough for one track of video and like one track of audio, one track of music, and like that's how everything had to be mixed.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this is actually bringing back memories of my stuff.
And also the fact that we could put in transitions and sound effects was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because like with Windows Movie Maker and your computer, it was just so slow that it would just crash on the
It would
render.
crash constantly.
Mm.
Yeah.
I do remember that at some point our family got like a laptop, and it still couldn't run. Like Windows Movie Maker was just like so poorly designed that it would just crash all the time regardless.
Yeah.
Max told me about Adobe, and this is how I first learned about like After Effects. And I managed to put After Effects on our laptop. And
Ow.
so there's a movie from way back then that I did all these like special effects for, where like my little brother gets hit by lightning and then he has lightning powers. And I spent like a year and a half making this movie because the render times were like, I had to like make the clip and then cross my fingers that it would render before it crashed. And then, but
I do that nowadays. What are you talking about?
Yeah, still, but like that was I like taught myself how to do After Effects, and that's still a very relevant skill that I have now because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think we're up to you, Max.
We're up to me.
I'm loving this, by the way. This and like I do want to ask you too, after we do yours, like what the first films that you guys produced or like the first pieces of content, because I think that's fascinating and to hear those stories. So, but let's start with your Two Truths and a Lie.
Sure. So my first one is I've died before.
Oh my gosh.
So when I was a baby,
A baby?
I got this rare blood disease, and they took me into the hospital, put me in an iron lung, and I wasn't doing well, and they declared me dead for a few seconds, and
my
my parents
gosh.
were just like breaking apart and in tears, and then suddenly I just came back, and it was just this miracle that we had gotten through this whole thing of me having a blood disease.
Way to bring a hammer.
Yeah. So
Oh my
number
gosh.
2, I was born in Bridgeton, New Jersey, and we lived in a not so great apartment and not in a not very good neighborhood. And I remember basically none of it because we moved to Madison when I was 4. So I always say I'm from Madison, but I'm actually from this like part of New Jersey.
Mhm.
But anyway, so when I was very small,
So is this the third one now?
this is the second one.
Oh, this is still a part of the second one.
This is still a part of the second one.
Oh, okay.
So
He's going by the story guidelines.
Yeah.
yeah,
told me.
I'm going by the
No, I like that.
Or
I like
the
it.
lie your pants off like Jeff story about that.
Yeah, right.
So my mom, when she would put me to sleep, she was always really paranoid about like people breaking into the house and stuff. So she would wait by the mailbox and with a stick, and homeless people would reach their hands through the mail slot. For what purpose, I don't know. But she would smack their hands with the stick so that like they would be like, please don't go away. Please don't enter my home.
Sounds like a real life like zombie film.
Yeah.
Also, if the detail of like the city or something is the difference, like I hate you.
But yeah, I just don't know what the purpose of putting your hands through a mail slot would be. That's always what struck me about the story. Like, why?
You just unlock the door.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Fantastic style. Just
Confusing. Anyway, so the third one is that
Is this the truth or the lie?
I can't tell you that. You're not
Or
going to
can
trip me
you?
up that easily. So, also when I was a kid, these are all child stories. Also, when I was a kid, I was really into science. So my mom got me
100%
this-
believe that.
the lie is that you are not a child.
So my mom got me this like glass thing where there were two reservoirs on either side of it, and then a tube that was curled and went up to it. And the liquid that was in it, you've probably seen these things, had a really low boiling point. So when you put your hand on it, the liquid all goes up to the top reservoir.
Sounds like mercury.
Yes, it probably was.
We're
And
not
there
scientists.
was no, I don't know anything. I mean, I enjoy science, but I don't know anything about it.
He enjoys the effects of science without understanding any of the causality.
Yes.
Very true. Yeah, yeah. So on the box of this thing was a warning that said, if you drop it, this will explode and it's going to be bad.
Oh boy.
And
It's a
so one
very-
day,
very, very to the point warning.
yeah,
Good branding.
yeah, exactly. It's something you should know about this product.
Yes.
This is basically a bomb.
Do not touch.
So I was playing with this thing in the kitchen, and I drop it. It shatters everywhere, creates a small explosion, and we had to redo our kitchen because of it. So those are my three.
I'm at a loss for words.
All
Okay,
right.
let's see. So yeah, me and Jeff go first because Jordan, you've known him longer.
True.
What if Jordan doesn't know?
Dun, dun, dun.
Friendship broken.
Done.
Yeah, this is the straw.
Yeah, sorry. Who's going first?
Oh, you go first. You look like you want to
I'm going
talk.
first. Okay, so number one
Okay.
because I
death
think
thing.
it's a technicality.
Okay.
Which one was number one again?
Being
That I
born on a
died.
bridge and living in, or that's the wrong one. Sorry, that's number two. Yeah, that.
Oh, right.
Actually, no.
that you
I'm going to take that
died.
back. I think it's number two.
You think it's number two?
I think there's this is stupid because I think I've heard these stories. I think I'm almost positive I've heard all of them.
Yeah, number two, his mom did not smack the homeless people's hands. She just let him reach in.
Okay.
That's the lie.
I'm
No,
pretty
I
positive
don't
you
know.
told me this.
Hang on. I didn't guess. That didn't count.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be a technicality, I feel like, because like the first one was like crazy, and I don't think you'd lie about that. But maybe you would lie about a detail, like maybe it wasn't a blood disease.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
what's?
say one still. Yeah.
Are you still going with
Sorry.
one?
I'm going to go with one.
Yeah, no. That's good. You can change it up until the point that he tells us.
Why can't I change it after?
You could. Some people have tried. Okay, so the first one, that's so crazy. I want to believe that because I'm happy that you're here, for whatever miraculously happened. I'm gonna choose to believe that happened.
All right.
Number two, homeless people reaching their hands in. It's a good story, and you're a good improver. I'm gonna say that's the fake one because what was number 3? I don't even remember.
Blowing
Number
up the
3,
kitchen
blowing up the kitchen.
Blowing up the kitchen.
with
Yeah.
the little mercury, with the mercury thing.
That also could be the technicality. Like, you have a little brother, could have been him, but there's so much work going into number 2. I think that is the lie.
I could totally believe that it was your brother that blew up the kitchen. Actually, either one of you.
Unless there's some sort of weird technicality, and also he never told me this story before, which I highly doubt. It's definitely number 3 is the lie.
Ah, that's Luke's guess as well. Luke guesses
All right.
number 3.
Are we going for it?
Number 3
Yeah.
is Jordan's guess, and
Okay.
Luke's guess. I'm number 2, and Jeff, you're number 1.
I've done a good job here.
I
There's guesses
know.
for all of them.
That's
know
true.
the majority of number 1 is true. I do know that.
Yeah,
I'll
because,
stay with it.
because I've definitely told all of these stories at the Nitty at some point.
Yes, you have, and that's why I'm struggling as to predicting which one it is.
All right. So I'm going to reveal it. So it is number 3 on a technicality.
Dang it.
So the answer is also a story. Not to be annoying, but
Not to be
No, this is fun, at least for me.
In this story.
so
You have to guess the technicality through 2 truths and a lie.
no.
By us telling truths and lies, we have to guess.
This call is going to last a long time.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is a 5-hour Joe Rogan joint.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Number 3 is a lie because the kitchen didn't actually blow up. The warning was wrong, and nothing happened to the kitchen. It just kind of broke, and like the fluids spilled everywhere.
Oh, I was gonna say the kitchen broke. It didn't blow up. It just broke.
But the reason I tell that story is because when I was in 2nd grade, I got in trouble for lying to the class that the kitchen had blown up because I was so disappointed that the warning wasn't true.
Oh, that's so good.
That when I told the story in class, I added that little bit so there's a payoff. So it's like, yeah, I read the warning and it was true. It exploded. Kitchen's destroyed. There's a hole in my house now.
He improv to improve his storytelling even at that age.
And got in trouble. That's amazing.
The issue was that the story went around the class so much and everyone was telling it, and that the parents were asking my mom, like, did this really happen? Is your kitchen okay? Because your son is spewing some bullshit, you know?
We've heard it's not.
And Luke says, yet you somehow survived.
Yes. But yeah.
See, I know you've told the story about the homeless people's hands coming in through the door slide. I knew that one right away.
I've not heard that one, but there was so much detail in there.
Yep.
And I knew when you were a baby, you were technically dead. I remember that coming up. That was definitely a nitty-gritty story.
Definitely, yes.
That was a couple drinks in. We were having a really good night, and we started talking about some serious stuff. And that was the story that we talked about.
I'm like, and then
Let me tell you about death.
It is a really ridiculous idea that your mom just stood by the door and slapped hands with a stick. Like, why is that her solution? I don't understand any of that.
I
It
don't
needs to be
know.
a comic.
Yeah.
Or like a short film.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Things
Like
from
a
my
person
childhood that don't make sense.
Like a person's
Yeah.
like showcasing their home, and it's all like nice and like home and garden. You're like, and in this part of my home, there's just hands coming in the front door, and they just like bat it away, and she's still smiling at the camera, just like.
Well, it's just this stick on the wall, you know. It's for the hands that reach through.
And here we have the beating stick.
Yeah,
not
that's our
like that.
wamper.
For the hands that come in through the front door.
It's the wampa.
And then you open the door and there's no one behind it. There was just these hands that were coming through.
So they're just kind of just dangling off the
And then you woke up and it was all a dream.
So scary.
Oh, it's not terrifying at all.
The most creative ending. It was all a dream.
It was. I'm still waiting for that day to happen. I'm expecting like in the 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden, all a dream. This whole thing was just a dream.
A dream of a simulation.
I've been waiting for that to happen.
I don't know if any of you know about the Haunted Mansion in Disney World, but apparently one of their original ideas.
No, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a thing people do.
Yeah, I figured. But I don't know. I didn't want to like completely derail. But apparently, one of their original ideas was that there would be people hiding in the walls, and they would just like reach out and grab people throughout the ride.
Oh, I'm in.
And then they were like, "Oh, we can't like touch people, so we can't do that."
That's the
They just reach out and they're like,
touch people.
Hey.
But
No,
yeah, I
I'm
don't know
not,
that
oh, we can't terrify the living crap out of people as they're going by. Like, no.
Although not to like indulge this tangent, but
no, please do.
I've been in haunted houses in Wisconsin where people have like grabbed my legs or like grabbed me from behind, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like it should be allowed.
Well,
And I
there's
just grab back.
that's like that level of haunted house which I've never been to because like my wife hates haunted houses and scary things, and I apparently don't have adventurous friends, but I would love to. There's always like, there's in Chicago, the multi-floor haunted house where you could fall down floors and people are going to grab you and get in your face. And like, I want to go to that. And you have to sign a waiver. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
And at the very end, they'll bring you back to life, and then they'll kill you, just like in the movie Scanners. No, it's not Scanners.
And your blood disease will be gone.
Oh man, what is it? It's the Kevin Bacon movie.
Yeah. Well, is that the one where they're doctors or they're like?
Yeah.
There's also that Netflix series where it's about that crazy haunted house that no one gets through, and they have to sign a waiver to.
Ooh,
to do
I've
it.
watched
It's
that.
not even a haunted house. It's like they just torture people in there.
It's horrible. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a mental test endurance, but literally
That sounds
no
terrible.
There's a prize if you get through, but it's like a lie.
Oh, that is that the haunted house like in California that no one's ever completed?
I don't know if it's in California, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no one's ever been through the whole thing because they just torture people until they quit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it
For
sounds
anybody who's
terrible.
watching this video who's already screamed the title of the movie that I was trying to think of at the screen at least the last dozen minutes or a dozen times, it's Flatliners from 1980.
Flatliners, yes.
Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon.
Oh my gosh. And they
William Baldwin's in
How
it.
could you forget?
what is it?
I
They
know, why
they
do I
like
kinda-
like to die and like have that near death experience but they're
Yeah,
like
'cause
doctors
it's-
or nurses or something.
It's like they get like a high off of being rejuvenated from that near-death experience
Right.
or something like that. So they keep killing themselves and bringing them back to life. And yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
But then they thwart death and then death comes for them and like they're driving on the highway and there's like a
I
truck.
think yes, exactly.
And,
That's Flatliners, the Final Destination.
When you guys are driving on the highway and you see a
Every
truck
single
that's got
time.
anything poking at you, do you think
Yeah.
Final Destination's going to happen?
I totally do.
and I usually gun it past the vehicle.
Yes,
going,
go
this
around.
Is probably what it's actually going to cause the accident. Is
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Past them right now.
Yeah, because I always think there's no way that stuff is tied down enough.
Yes.
And, you know, if
Yes.
I'm the one that's behind there, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I'm going to be a part of a murder tableau where there's a pole through the center of my chest and I'm just up in the air. Because it came through the windshield.
Oh, no.
Yes.
There's also like that video game thing too, where like anytime you're driving by a truck that has logs on it, no matter how little you tap that truck,
It's gonna-
all those
yeah, they're gonna
logs
come
are
off.
falling off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, that's
Also,
amazing.
GTA all the time.
Diablo.
And no matter how small you tap a telephone pole, those also, they're like not even in the ground. They just knock over. That's
Or they are the most solid. No, what it is it's the like parking signs, like this
Oh.
You
the
can go
stop signs
100
that are
miles
like
an hour into those.
that crumples the car and flings you out of the front windshield because apparently those things are buried into the core of the earth.
Here's a crazy truth. My friend was walking home from a dance club like in college, walking by my old house where I lived, like on Randall and Randall, right by the stadium. And all of a sudden, like a car comes screaming around the corner, and there's like a weird corner there, and swerving, and they're not really in the way, but it hits the sign right by them, and then keeps going, and the sign's on the ground. And my friend, who's at the front of the group, she turns around, and she's just bleeding down her face because the driver hit the sign. It's a stop sign, and the stop sign just sliced her forehead open.
Oh,
And like a flap of skin is like coming down over her eye.
God.
Was she okay?
She's totally fine now.
Okay.
This is also my friend who beat cancer.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's insane.
She's got some
she's got
thick
stories.
skin,
Yeah.
unintended.
And they went to my old house, and like somebody came out with a paper towel and stuff, and they're like trying to hold her forehead back on, and they called called the doctor
So that completely
or
gives
ambulance.
credence to every time, like in a movie, somebody gets sliced in half by something and they just stand there for a minute, not realizing that they're cut in half.
Yeah, she like felt something coming down her face, and I think somebody like maybe it was down over her eye, because I think it's like right here, so I think it was a little over her eye. She's like, "What the heck?" And somebody else reacted first. Yeah, and she's got a little scar now.
She's so lucky that didn't go closer.
Yeah.
It would have just.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Or like
Terrifying.
hit your head harder, or like hit some place where you bleed.
Like maybe it cut across her eyes or
Oh my
something like
gosh!
that. Like,
Well,
that would've just been
and you have
horrendous.
so many nerves and things like in your face and muscles, so any of those get hit and you can't use your face. So she was very fortunate. I think there's a little bit of numbness up here, but she got they woke up not a neurosurgeon, a face surgeon who apparently lived in town, like in Madison. They got him up and he came in and fixed her up like at 2:00 in the morning or whatever
That's
it was.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got hit by a stop sign.
Yeah.
Stop.
And my wife's reaction, because my wife was there, my wife's reaction was, "Don't anybody worry, I know CPR." You're a little crazy.
Well, CPR her face back together.
We'll
That's
put it
so
back
scary.
on.
Breathe on it.
There-
Breathe on it harder.
This is
Chest
kind of
compressions.
this is kind of a different topic, but I sometimes when I'm on the highway, I feel like I get this kind of shiver up my spine, and I feel like in another dimension something bad happened.
Mm.
You know, have you guys ever had that?
They used to say that was somebody walking across your grave. That used to be the old adage.
Yeah.
Whenever you get shivers or like you're like goose pimples or something like that, that was somebody walking across your grave.
So-
or where you were going to be buried.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a and now I just lost the word. Deja vu. It wasn't like a deja vu, was it?
Not
It was
It's
just
not
something
deja
like
vu, it's more
like something
it's
bad.
maybe a close call or something,
Yeah.
and then I feel like there are infinite possibilities and infinite dimensions. In one of them, that didn't go very
that did
well.
not. That went
Yeah.
bad, and you're
Yeah.
feeling the repercussion of it.
That always
Yeah.
makes me think of that scene with Christopher Walken from Annie Hall, where he's talking about driving down the highway, and he's like, sometimes I just imagine crossing over the line and I can hear the glass shattering and feel the metal bending, and then they're like driving in the car with him later, and they're like,
Yeah, yeah. Every
Super
once
creepy.
In a while, every once in a while on the highway, I'm like, I am going 80 miles an hour in a metal box, and a
Yeah.
person should not be able to do that. And then my fingers clench more on the steering wheel, and Morgan tries to talk to me, and I'm like, be quiet, I'm driving. We need to get through this.
Not now,
If
woman.
it makes you feel any better, I have had all of these same feelings and thoughts. So either we're all completely normal or we're all kind of crazy. a little
yeah.
bit.
And that's okay.
Guys, I've got this feeling right now.
Oh no. There's
What
like
could
a
have
car
happened?
hurtling towards your office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that, because he's
Hawk
on the
just
other
hit the
wall.
window.
He's right there, guys. Don't say that, because if it's gonna go in, it's going and hitting me too. I can hear it thudding right now. he's thudding right where my fingers are.
We
pointing.
do share a wall.
I don't.
For some reason, what I'm picturing is just a crane with a wrecking ball just going through.
Oh my
Just a
God.
So like
cartoon
Terminator
thing.
3.
Well, it is Final Destination because it's always like
like-
the most ridiculous death ever. Yeah.
Or it's like Donnie Darko, and there's just an airplane hurtling towards.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there
I
you
love Donnie Darko.
So
Yeah.
good.
Donnie Darko 2 is one of those movies where
As
I'm like,
well.
I really like this, but I don't quite understand everything that's going on
Yes.
here. And
Yes.
immediately I looked it up on the internet, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Cool.
makes a little more sense now.
I
Yeah.
walked away from seeing Donnie Darko for the first time, which was no joke, only maybe like 6-7 years ago. And I finished that movie and I was so depressed.
Yeah.
It's so just like, I have no energy left and I kind
Yeah.
of just want to go to bed now. 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like, and I didn't enjoy it. And like Donnie Darko is still very much so kind of one of the few films that I've ever watched where I'm like, I don't know if I actually feel comfortable watching it again.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm going to feel like that.
For a while,
Like,
it
like
was like my number one movie, like unquestionably the favorite. But I think what you're pointing out you know, when you ask somebody your favorite movie, so I'll do this, like you guys each give me your favorite movie, but there's always some kind of caveat. Like if you're on a desert island, what would you want to watch over and over again? Or like, what do you rewatch? Like, what have you watched 100 times? Donnie Darko, I've seen 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to watch it again soon because you're going to make a poster. I'm so excited about it.
Yes.
Are you?
But Jeff's going to make a poster for our office, kind of in the style that we have. But I haven't seen it in maybe 10 years. So I want to rewatch it and experience that. And like for me, I love a lot of weird movies that take me to weird emotional places like you're describing, Jeff. Like, oh, so heavy.
Yeah.
I feel terrible.
That's how I feel about, like, probably my favorite movie, because I just watched it again, and it might be at the top of the list now, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So good.
Such a good movie. I love every aspect of it, but it kind of leaves you with just such a sad, like, it's not even like a sad ending, but it's just like, it's really heavy and emotional, like, watching that whole thing.
Right.
And like, if I was on a desert island, maybe I would take like "I Love You, Man" or something I could just watch forever.
I was gonna say "I Love You, Man."
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It'd be a toss. It would be hard because if I had to choose a Paul Rudd film, it'd either be, which is really really hard by the way, because the man makes 2,500 movies a year. "I Love You, Man" is super good, but also I really do, or actually I guess it's more of a Jason Segel film. I really love Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
It's so good.
Oh yeah,
so good.
I love that movie to death. It's so that's a movie that I could just be like, I want to watch something funny. It's got some heart. It's got some seriousness.
It's got some Jason Segel parts.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got a lot of Segel parts.
It's got
so I'm like, I've seen
a
more
Dracula.
of that man than I've ever wanted to see. What?
Yeah, a Dracula musical.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That part is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can always just be like, yeah, let's watch that movie. Sure, okay,
Yeah.
I enjoy
That's
that.
the same category as "I Love You, Man." I love both those movies a lot. I can just watch them endlessly.
Yeah. So go ahead. Let's go around the horn and slap at the bass.
Slap at the bass, man.
We'll go around the horn and maybe give me your favorite movie ever right now, because it changes, and then give me your desert island movie. We'll start with Max.
Okay. All right, I will go. One of my favorite movies of all time is There Will Be Blood. And that hasn't changed for such a long time because
I drink your milkshake.
Drink your milkshake.
It's
I drink it up. Yeah, just Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in that is so incredible, and just the arc of his character is so just beautifully done, and just as far as Paul Thomas Anderson movies go, that one is my favorite for sure. And just in general, I should probably watch it again because I haven't watched it in a couple years, and opinions change. But
absolutely,
my desert island movie would probably be. I'm gonna cheat and split it between two. It would probably it's either
That's fair.
Roadhouse,
the Patrick Swayze film.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good, and that's one that Ben introduced me to. It's just like we watched it on Bad Movie Night actually, but as far as bad movies go, it is a very well structured bad movie. Yeah.
And there's probably something nostalgic about it. Like I wonder if like you saw it at a certain age and like it just feels like something that is so special and unique.
Yeah. And it's also just really just fun and silly and and
there's not a lot of movies there's movies from that time period that they don't make that kind of movie anymore, where it's still like a movie and it has an idea, but it doesn't take itself seriously. It's like it's kind of like the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Like that movie doesn't take itself seriously, but it is the best Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because it's just on the cusp of being self-aware.
Yeah.
Like it has inklings, spider sense, of it being a movie, but they're still acting about themselves, their lives, like they're real people. Yes.
And that's the one I will split it between, is that and Spider-Man 2, because I love Spider-Man 2. And just
solid.
That's also super nostalgic as Spider-Man.
And it's so
I would agree with that.
Just Doc Ock as a villain. What Sam Raimi is great at doing is making great relatable villains where like by the time they turn evil, you understand why they're evil, and there's some nuance there that's really.
Even though you look at Green Goblin as a character and you're like, he's completely ridiculous. The things he says are quotable because they're so over the top and dumb. But still, he's a bad guy that feels relatable and is evil in the right kind of like theatrical way. I feel like.
I mean, you know the reason why? It's because it's played by Willem Dafoe.
Frickin' Willem Dafoe.
So we just relate to people of our kind.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's like what Nicolas Cage could be if he was like good. Because you have like Willem Dafoe-esque or Willem Dafoe-ism. Like Boondock Saints is one of my favorites as well, and it's so weird, and like I love that. Like there was a firefight.
Yep.
You know, it's so it's like overacted in some degree, but like it's so perfect and amazing.
What's the scary looking guy from the movie where they put a guy in a wood chipper?
Fargo.
Fargo?
Yes.
What's that?
Yes.
Steve Buscemi?
Yes, Buscemi. Yes.
I think Willem Dafoe is like Steve Buscemi and Nicolas Cage put into one person.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I also feel like both Steve Buscemi and Willem Dafoe have these faces where when they were born, the doctor was just like, oh.
And then just slowly puts a bag over their head.
what
like,
happened
kill
genetically here?
Hide him.
But then they decided to take that terrifying face and use it to make loads of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they can also do roles that are very well acted and very well performed, and you actually care and they have meaning behind them. It's like, but it's like your face is just.
You have a weird face, man.
It's impressive. Yeah.
Well, that's the Green Goblin, like Willem Dafoe, like it's so good. He does that so well.
There's in the Weird Al parody that he did for Piano Man called the Superhero, where he's basically reciting the plot of Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi one. There's a line in it where that goes along it's along the lines of he's wearing that dumb Power Rangers mask, but he's scarier without it on.
And it's like weird. I remember that line.
That's so true.
Wait.
Actually.
What just
That's
happened?
Weird Al.
Is that a line? Oh, okay.
Weird Al did a parody of Billy Joel's Piano Man, where it was basically him telling the tale.
Sling us a web.
Sling us a web. You're the Spider-Man. Sling us a web tonight.
That's funny.
And there's a line there he talks about the Green Goblin. So speaking of like Spider-Man 1, sorry, another complete tangent. I really wish they had kept the Green Goblin mask tests, the original designs that they had for it. He looked so much cooler, like creepy almost. Like I feel like it would have probably pushed it a little bit too far towards like Evil Dead and like the horror side of Sam Raimi, which he does really, really well. I don't know why he just doesn't do more of it.
Oh, it's super creepy.
But at least it was more of a physical, like it was a robotic rubber mask, basically. But it looked really realistic.
So cool instead of him just wearing a
as opposed to the metal one,
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, because in that version, his face would have transformed based on the formula.
Which sounds exactly like a Sam Raimi.
I'm gonna do this.
Right, which is very much so though. Like that's kind of what that's kind of like what the Green Goblin was for a long time in the comics, which because that's from the era that Sam Raimi grew up reading Spider-Man comics. That's what it was.
Well, there was that thing too around when Spider-Man came out and after there, where they were like, well, we want to make superhero stuff, but we want to make it be like gritty and realistic. And
freaking Christopher Nolan.
X-Men is wearing like leather.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder what the years are, because like the Christopher Nolan Batman made at least the DC universe be like, it's got to be super gritty and real, while DC was always like kind of weird, goofy spandex compared to the more gritty, real Marvel. Like Marvel's like this 16-year-old kid gets some powers and ridiculous things happen, and he has to take great responsibility. Where great power comes. I think that's how the quote goes. But it's he's
got to take great responsibility with power.
It's DC was always like, crazy weird spandex and look at the sparkles and et cetera, et cetera. So it was a little more, for me it felt like wrestling WWE, WWF, like that style was always kind of DC, a little more silly. But then Christopher Nolan just did like such a great Batman that they're like, all our movies have to be like that. And we get, what is it, Man of Steel? And it's like, oh, I'm such an angsty, torn Superman.
See, and that's
Superman is not dark and gritty,
and
like
or
that's the
angsty
thing about Superman.
Right.
No, not at all.
Right.
That is a misunderstanding of the character and what made it successful.
The source material.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why did Batman Begins work so well? It's because when Christopher Nolan and his brother wrote it, they did not write a Batman movie. They wrote a movie about a guy whose parents were killed when he was a young kid, and it was him struggling with trying to find his identity as he grew up.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be that he put on a suit and became Batman. But like, if you removed the mentioning of Batman and Gotham City out of that film, maybe Ra's al Ghul, that portion's a little
but still, like,
on the end. But
idea, yeah.
that's why Batman Begins worked, and that's what started this whole like gritty, like this new gritty realism of films. They just went the wrong direction. You can't make a man who's you can't make an alien be gritty real. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, although Green Lantern was maybe not done as a done as a good movie, like it wasn't done well.
Yeah.
I think that had elements that made me feel like more like a DC cartoon. Like it was more fun. Again, it wasn't a good movie.
It wasn't in the right way, but they were trying.
Yes. I feel like that was closer than everything is gritty.
Yeah.
I recently watched the Richard Donner Superman, the original one. And just in comparison to where they went with the character, it's so much more fun and so much more like he's this just pure representation of what we want America to be. And he says things like, oh yes, I stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And back then, that meant something good. And I feel like in the time we're living in now, it would be good to have some sort of symbol of something to look up to, some symbol of America that's more pure and just. Yeah.
That's a really good point and question. Like, Superman kind of came out of I don't know, is it World War II? Like,
yeah, it was 39, 38.
Yeah, so trying to think of that like the ultimate Americanism, like, no, we are true good and the American way or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, like, I'd be very curious. I'm not up on my comics, but I would imagine that art is trying to work on that. Like, there's a lot of discussion about what is the American way, and do we throw it out or do we transform it, or, how do we whatever? And without getting too political, like, art always kind of mirrors that. And so I'm very curious, like, there's got to be some, Superman may be doing that, or maybe there's another character out there. So if you're one of our handful of people watching, tell us.
I do think too that it would be great to like come out of this whole COVID quarantine experience and get some movies that are just like more fun adventure escapism films, rather than like, if something dark and gritty comes out, I'm not interested, because we've had enough of that.
Yeah,
we've experienced dark and gritty.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had this dark and gritty period, and what I want is true movie escapism, just Indiana Jones running away from the boulder.
That's why a bunch of those movies came out, was because like it always goes in cycles where there'll be a time period where they make really gritty, and it's like, oh, we're living in a wartime where we have these war movies, and then people are like, I don't want that anymore. And then there's all these like fantasy escapism movies that people are like, this is great, just this isn't anything about my life. This is just fun and cool, and so I think that will definitely happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and we were in a period maybe where we're like, hey, we're invincible, nothing can go wrong, and so we got into really gritty, dark stuff, and it seems like that's how art and film. I'm gonna go see Tenet tonight. I don't know anything about it except like it's the Christopher Nolan thing and it has to be seen. Yeah. But art always reflects society in some way, whether it is opposite or congruent to kind of the sentiment. But right now, yeah, I mean, we're watching Hamilton, like Mulan, like Tenet, Contagion, and like all those films came out on Netflix or were available like at the beginning of the pandemic. We didn't watch any of those. They're super fun movies, but for whatever reason, we just didn't want to watch those. We wanted to watch like right now I'm watching Schitt's Creek, which is hilarious.
So good.
And like that's my go-to. Even though, and this gets back, and we'll continue that discussion about like favorite movies. Like, I love a movie that just punches me like through my chest, grabs my heart, pulls it out, squeezes it until it explodes, and then afterwards,
so I'm like Temple of Doom, then, right?
I'm like,
I love Temple of Doom.
Quite literally.
I mean,
literally low.
So literally,
Kalima Shakti Day.
But in terms of disappointment, I love Crystal Skull. So
there is a poster up on this wall right
now. I know. There it is.
No, why
There
would
it
you do
is.
that to
No,
yourself?
why?
It's because you have one,
Because
right?
I own one.
Yeah.
I own that poster.
It's legit.
Got it for super cheap.
But
It makes sense. Yeah.
that, it's kind of like waking up from a bad dream. You're like, oh my gosh, like Morgan died, or like my wife died, or my kid died, or something terrible happened. You wake up and you're like, oh, that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I've been very fortunate, very blessed in my life. A lot of people haven't died around me, that weren't very, very old, et cetera, et cetera. So like, if I can have a movie that can just take me and emotionally shake the crap out of me, I love it.
Yeah. So Max and I obviously both part of what we bonded over is we both grew up in situations where like a situation where we weren't allowed to do certain things, obviously, and I won't get into all that, but
We grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of feelings, and there was a lot of feeling trapped, and we had a lot of like angst and depression that we couldn't talk about that with other people, and we didn't know how to like feel that. So when we'd go to a movie and we're like, this movie is extremely depressing, and we see a character and we're like, oh my gosh, I can relate to this character. Like, that was a huge outlet for being able to deal with those emotions. And they're like, I'm just going to experience the most depressing thing I can and just like hold on to that.
And
I can
feel
really,
that emotion. Yeah.
I can feel that emotion, and that helps me get through this for sure.
And
That's awesome.
There's definitely a therapeutic aspect to watching film and making short films that we were taking advantage of at the time. Like, when I would write something, it would often be something that, I couldn't say to my family or the people in my life that I was just trying to get out there and be like, hey, here's this thing on YouTube. This is a reflection of what I think and what I'm dealing with. And there was sort of this cathartic release to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's a therapy to art in that way, which is something that, I've been really like passionate about and participated in the past. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's why, like, we all have 10 ideas going around, and hopefully we can be working on one of them at any given time. But one of the ideas I have is like, and it's a film that maybe has a provocative title of like America, or like This Is America, because we've worked with many people who have just these nuts stories, like someone whose grandparents came to Wisconsin and they were essentially like slaves. They were, it's an Asian family, but they came over here on a program that they worked for a farmer, and the farmer took their passport and their money and all their stuff and said, you may not use the phone, you may not leave, you go work, and I'll tell you in many years when you're done. And they eventually fled that, and other stories, people, similar in Chicago, like people coming in and having some similar stories, but getting out of it and triumphing and having businesses and building a family and building a community. And so, in these dark times when we're so critical and we're like, tear it all down, I want to be like, well, what's the ideal? Kind of like that idea of Superman. Like, what is the ideal, and what are amazing stories?
Reach for?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say about Superman too, is he's literally an alien. He's not from the United States. He came here, and he's the most American idea possible.
That's true, yeah.
It's like that's what a good what a good role model, to have. Like, he was an outsider, and he's the most American guy there is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you can
And
make
building off of what we've been talking about too, I earlier in my life I would delete things on YouTube that I thought was not a reflection of what I could do now. And I would look at my work that I've done, and I would be like, oh, that's no good. I can do so much better than that now. Why don't I delete it? And now I wish I hadn't done that, because what everything that you create in the moment is a reflection of your morality and your ideas and what you're feeling at that time.
Yeah, it's a snapshot.
And it's such a shame to just wipe that away and delete it, because it's like when I look back on things that I've made, it's now kind of this gift and this time capsule of what I was feeling in the moment, and that's it's something really precious to keep, I think.
If only you'd known about the unlisted feature.
Exactly. when I learned
that's
about
what
the
they made
unlisted,
them for people like us.
exactly. When I learned about the unlisted feature, I was like, unlisted.
Yep.
Like, instead of deleting everything, I just unlist it, and then I can still watch it. But we don't need to show that to the public.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So much that, like, it's almost like journaling, the filmmaker's journal of, like, what was I caring about? Because, like, when I went to UW Milwaukee, I went there for a year, and I like to make fun of it, and I like to make fun of it with people who went there, because it's focused on art film and not being a professional.
Right.
And I think you can be a professional and do art, but they did not give a crap about being a professional. And so, like, the one, I've told the story several times, but one class, and I actually did a filming project with Dave Geisler, who I kind of grew up with, you all know. But it was this conversation, like, where two people pass each other outside of a Walmart or whatever, and they're like, hey, what's up? Not much. How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. You, blah, blah. And you have that conversation, but then it switches into their kind of headspaces, and it's like, oh, just leave. I don't want to talk to you. It switches into, like, what you're actually feeling and thinking. And so I thought that was unique. And I got, like, a C on it. And the kid who, like, licked his cat and, like, rolled around with his cat got an A and was praised. I got out of Dodge for that. But at the time, right, I was just like, just real communication. Like, let's get beyond this fakeness. And I recall that. I don't think I have that video anywhere. But I just remember thinking that. I'm like, aw, I have, like, some baby philosophical thoughts. That's right. Super cute. And it's useful of, like, don't be fake, like, say, how are you doing? And give a shit, care about it. Yeah. And not be fake. So I love that as, like, a time capsule or, like, a journal for us filmmakers.
Yeah. Like you're saying too, though, like, baby philosophical ideas, like, that was a whole thing for us. Movies we made were, like, our ideas about the world and stuff, and you're like, oh, little baby is having his breakthrough.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So we are at about 1:30, and I would love to continue talking, but we try to keep these about an hour and a half. I do want to do maybe just one round, because, again, you guys are such great actors and improvers. Just one quick game of charades, because this is something we can do quickly without getting too far into an improv sesh. So I sent you guys a link in Skype. What are we in? Skype? Yeah. I sent you guys a link to a word generator from the game Gal, which is pretty great.
How do you get to this link?
You should see chat. Yeah, at the bottom
to run another room real quick. I'll be right back. Be right back.
Sounds good.
So I hit the chat and I don't see anything.
I found it. Word generator.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Why am I dumb?
And it pops up a thing, and on the bottom it says word generator.
You're way too hard on yourself. I just sent it again. I could also email it to you.
So you hit the chat and it shows up, Jordan?
Yeah, you click chat and it pops up a bar on the side of your screen.
Yeah, that I see.
You don't see the things that say word generator in there?
No, I don't. I mean, you could go first, and I could try to figure it out.
Can you? Can you type
I'm always the
hello
old
in the
man of the
chat?
Like one time.
See you. You said hi. You said hello.
You just said hello.
Yeah, I did, but I don't see anything before that. I don't know why.
Do you see my hi?
Do 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 do.
It says that you saw it.
Oh, now I see it. It was just loading, I guess.
The internet.
The internet. Okay, got it.
And we're also like we're elder millennials. Like, I believe you guys are all millennials, right? You're not younger than that. Yeah.
No.
Jeff and I are like on the cusp of being Gen X, but we all, we're all solidly millennials. But we went through that technology phase where we edited on VHS and didn't have the internet. I feel like us not having the internet growing up in the same way that anyone now does, like having dial-up. I'm sure you guys remember dial-up.
Yeah.
That should put us in a different class, but
I think it was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I love Skype Zoom chats. No, you go first.
I just think it's really interesting the time period we lived in because we saw such a drastic change in technology.
Yeah.
From just how data is recorded.
Well, we all lived through the switch from analog to digital, which is a very specific juncture in technology.
Yeah.
And the fight between Blu-ray and HD DVD.
Yeah. Oh, what a time to live through.
What a time to be alive.
Guys, we've had a difficult life.
So
it really was a difficult life.
Wow.
That was another movie I was thinking about going on the island, The Wonderful Life.
Oh,
Wonderful Life.
It's so good. Oh yeah.
I love Wonderful Life.
So real quick,
we didn't do Jordan.
Yeah, Max, we did you. Let's do Jordan real quick, and then we'll.
I was gonna say, you said 2 movies, right? Like the one that's our favorite.
Yeah, give me your current favorite, and then maybe like your desert island movie.
Probably Eternal Sunshine, but also I really like the movie Beginners. That movie is really good.
I've never heard of it.
It has
Ewan McGregor, and then Christopher Plummer.
Oh, Trainspotting.
Yeah,
that movie. But yes, no, it's such a good movie though. I watched more recently. I watched Unforgiven again, which I really like, but I don't think it's as far up as I had it before. That's a really good movie. But in terms of what for fun movie, either like I said, probably I Love You Man, but also maybe something like Django Unchained because I love that movie. That's a super for fun movie, over the top. I could watch that movie forever.
Nice.
So good.
Jeff, give me your favorite movie and your desert island movie.
Well, these are not going to be a surprise to anybody in the world because everybody knows these because I never change them because it's still true. Favorite movie is always and will always forever be Noises Off. Just because it's brilliant. It's Michael Caine and Carol Burnett and John Ritter and Christopher Reeves and people it's so brilliant about the putting on of a play. And nobody knows what the hell they're doing. It is so fantastic. It's on Amazon Video. Used to be on Netflix.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's so good. If you can find it, it's like I said. I think you can rent it on Amazon Video. It's not streaming anywhere anymore. It's like I own an original movie poster for it. I own it on VHS. I own digital copies of it. I love
That's
that
awesome.
film. I can recite it practically to the T. Actually, not gonna lie, there was at one time in my life where you got to put in little passcodes that way you knew that this email was coming from the right spot, and I put in a quote from that movie.
Amazing.
Nice.
Because that was the first thing I was like, well, I know that's gonna be legit.
Yeah.
I won't say anymore. But besides that, then but the movie I would take on the desert island, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit because everybody else seems to be taking 2 movies. I am taking the Back to the Future trilogy because that is 1 movie.
It is, especially if you take into account the fan edit that you did.
Yes,
that is all of them.
That
combined.
is just a single 5.5 hour film.
with the what's the cowboy's name with the Tannen?
Oh, Biff Tannen.
Yeah,
or
you fix the pictures between the movies because
yes,
there's an indiscrepancy.
Yeah, because between the 2 films, there's a photograph when Marty goes in alternate 1985 and he goes up to the Biff Tannen Museum. They're advertising and talking about his great grandfather, not Griff, it's Buford Mad Dog Tannen.
Right.
And there's a photo of him, but it was like early; they hadn't filmed part 3 yet, and they changed his look a little bit because the first one he's like super big beard and kind of like a little more bigger, and then they slimmed him down and just kind of gave him like a very small beard. So it was to change that that video in that moment when you see that photograph to change change it to the one that Marty and Doc find in the Hill Valley Library in the beginning of part 3. So, but yeah, I'd have to take Back to the Future. That's because I could just put that movie on, and that movie can both be entertaining, that could be background noise, that could be just whatever. I've seen that thing so many times. Yeah. I don't get sick of it ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's great.
Let's see. What's can people see that stuff online somewhere? Those fan edits?
Oh, yes. There is a place that people can view them. It's not on YouTube or anything like that because YouTube immediately flagged.
Because legal.
Mm-hmm.
Because of legal. It should be, is it fan edits or fan edit? Oh, fan edits. Yes, if you go to ghosthat.net/fan-edits, re-edits, REDITS. Or you just go to ghosthat.net.
Reddits?
There's a link. There's a link in the tab bar. That will have the Back to the Future never-ending travel edit. And then I also have the Batman Superman re-edit that TC and I did, as well as my family-friendly version of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes, with updated special effects. So to take out the cord from the sledding.
Do you have the Star Wars edit?
Yes, and then I have all 3 of the prequels that I re-edited.
Yes,
and it's much shorter, so better.
Yes, Revenge of the Sith is normal runtime is 140 minutes. My edit's 87.
Nice.
So much better.
Phantom Menace is like they're all like half the length of the films, and also Anakin is not so annoying.
Also, no midichlorians.
Next to none. Actually, I think I'm pretty positive I did cut them out.
Okay.
The entire I hate sand part.
Yes. Yes, I did actually, because their relationship is so screwy. It doesn't make sense, and he's annoying. And I'm like, why the hell would she ever want to love him? And that sand line is so stupid.
That part is my favorite part now, though, because of the sand line.
It's iconic.
Well, they have no relationship, and they just make a baby or make 2 babies.
Yeah. in my edit, they pretty much they go into hiding. Anakin and her kind of talk a little bit about how they've come out. She's come out here ever since she was a little kid, and he. They lean in.
He doesn't hate
sand. Romantic moment. They lean in and kiss, and then I'm pretty positive in my edit the next time you see them is when Anakin is standing outside on the porch saying that he had another dream about his mother the night before, which is like a good half hour later. It cuts out all the awkwardness between them. It cuts out that weird picnic they have in the field. It cuts out the weird BDSM by the fire scene when they're talking. All of that, which just makes their relationship why are you together? Why would she care if he said he had to leave? I think she'd just be like, okay, bye.
Did you cut out Anakin's Immaculate Conception by the Force? I can't remember. I know that's a part of the world, but I don't remember the scene if that's explicit because it's there's and maybe it's young Anakin in number 1.
It's in 1.
And there's an allusion to he was immaculately conceived by the Force.
Yeah, because Qui-Gon asks Shmi or whatever her name is, Anakin's mom who's his father, and she's like, he has no father. I raised him, and it's that was the thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive that scene's cut. I don't think I have that dialogue in there. I also cut out every time Anakin was like, "Let's try this. Let's see what this can do," or like any of like the woohoos or stuff. Like all that stuff is gone. Make him actually know what he's doing. Come on.
Yeah.
Also, George Lucas has a very weird conception of slaves. Like slaves have their own house, and they like eat food all the time. They can do whatever. It's fine. It's very confusing.
Yeah,
it's like a serf.
They have bombs implanted in them that apparently they can blow them up if they leave. Oh, sure. Has anyone tried it? Have they tried it? No, they haven't because they're both still alive.
Is that part of the story? They have bombs in them?
Yeah.
Is that part of the movie? Or is that just part of... Is it?
I don't remember that part.
Padme asks them, like, why haven't you guys just left? And Anakin's like, they put bombs in us, and if we leave, they blow you up. Boom! And it's right in front of Jar Jar, and he's like, how wooed? Like that whole... I know these movies fairly well.
Do they get the bombs out of them? How does Anakin leave?
Seems like that'd be a problem.
Apparently, you can just deactivate it, which doesn't make any sense.
I mean, as an adult, he has a bomb inside him for the rest of his life.
Right?
That seems like that would be a plot point. That's like Mission Impossible 3.
Right? Like get the bomb out of Anakin. That should have been attack. That should have been episode 2.
Seems like a problem. Just like the lightsaber surgery to get the bomb out could have been a scene.
Yeah,
just a giant lightsaber surgery.
Padme figures out he's a murderer, and she's like, "Oh, that's fine.
It's fine.
Still have a relationship."
Yeah.
The women and the children. Oh, Anakin.
Oh,
yes.
You rascal. Okay.
I killed him. I slaughtered him like animals. Because they are animals.
Anyway,
all right.
Sorry. Okay. Charades.
Well, let me give mine real quick.
Ryan has to say his.
So
Donnie Darko.
Desert, yeah. So Donnie Darko, but I have to reassess it. Like that's just always kind of been my go-to, and I haven't seen it in forever. So that's kind of my easy answer, Donnie Darko. I'll give that now. It was like the first time I saw a movie, and I was like, this makes me think. And then Desert Island movie is probably Anchorman. I had such an amazing experience when it premiered.
Another Paul Rudd film.
I was so there you go, Paul Rudd joint, as it's called. I was working at a movie theater, and like TC, who's been on the show, and Chad, who hasn't yet, like we grew up kind of together and worked at the movie theater together. We all saw it together with like 15 people, and like just that experience and like joking, and like it was so much fun that it sticks in my head as something more than just the film. Yeah. So I love that. But let's go to charades. We'll wrap it up with this. We'll start with me and Jeff again and save you guys for last. The way this game works, I want you to go to that website that I sent, and we've got word generator. Make sure game, you select charades. And then category, let's go hard. This is a pretty good group. Okay. And the ultimate winner will be the one who can get everyone to guess the most amount of their charades. So try and keep track. You may also pass if you don't like a word. Just click on new word, and it works. Does that sound good?
Right. Sounds good.
Oh, okay. These are really hard. Let's go to medium.
Okay.
Wait, what?
We're going to medium. Hard is too hard. I just went through like 4 words and I couldn't get it. I'll start a timer too for a minute and a half. I think that's a good time. Let's see. Timer. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's see. You guys can see that there.
Yep.
I believe
there. All right. I'm going to cheat. Give myself 5 minutes. All right. Here we go. 3.
Jeff, so the one who lied for like 5 minutes, doesn't believe you.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Am I guessing yours, Ryan?
All of you guess.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Juggling.
So easy.
Wow. Okay
then.
March.
Sitting.
Rifle. Shooting. Hunting.
Army.
Second Amendment.
Military.
Army man.
Soldier.
Army guy.
Military. Soldier.
Okay.
Military guy.
Laughing.
Funny.
Comedian.
So
Funny.
Telling. Okay. Soup.
Cat. Bath.
Soup.
Looks like you're like tiny spoon.
Panera.
Soup. Wait. T. Credit card. Pay.
Credit card.
Okay. The confusion
Confused.
came from because you like pulled it out of your butt, and I don't know what.
Vest.
Backpack.
Backpack.
Going to school. Cape. Superman.
Dora
Superhero.
the Explorer.
Fart. Wave the fart away.
It was Cape.
Muscle.
Pin.
Pain. Prick.
Pain.
Acupuncture.
Injured.
Dancing.
Jive.
Club.
Dancer.
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 Prancer and Vixen.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer.
Put
Pants.
Shake the pants.
Pants.
Oh, I mhm.
Shake the pants.
Shake the pants.
Horse.
Pogo stick.
Pogo stick.
Pogo stick.
Oh, gosh.
That was fantastic.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
How many was that?
Oh dear goodness, I wasn't keeping track.
This is why we need Luke to watch.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna say it was 8.
I think I'm pretty much.
Well,
you got
guess our scores at the end.
All right, I'll try to keep track of whoever's going from now on. That was kind of easy.
that was actually.
Yeah.
And
Should we go back to hard?
since we didn't do my score, I'll just be disqualified, and we'll go back to hard, and it'll be you three together. We'll go against you three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Hard
we'll have to do
is-
this again sometime since you'll be disqualified. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not fair.
I mean, it's not legit, but we'll go with it. All right, Jeff, you're up next,
okay.
and I'll keep track
hard?
on hard.
The denim heartthrob.
Here he is.
Aw.
Here I am.
Who?
Whole story behind that. What? No, I've not enough time to tell that story. That was gonna go.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Thanks, Max. I've got the timer. Here we go. 3,
Being a
2,
director.
1, go.
Running.
Back, spine,
Spine.
Fine.
Dr. Octavius. Phone.
charge,
Same.
wrap, cover,
Whoa.
balance, convert, Iron Man,
Iron Man.
balance. I said that already. Organize, shelf.
Bookshelf.
Nope.
So hard. Right.
Nope.
Sign.
Author.
Check. Mail. Snail mail.
Mailbox. Mail.
Letter. Envelope.
Post office. Letter.
Envelope.
Stamp.
Envelope.
The
Stamps.com.
sticky strip.
Bill.
The front of the envelope.
Check.
Address.
Check.
I'm so sorry. We suck.
What was it?
Postcard. I
Oh.
Damn it.
can't do that when I have to do a sound.
Look. Examine. Inspect.
Explorer.
A pirate. Explore.
A pirate. Explore. Examine. Oh. TSA.
Security guard.
Oh, I was so close with TSA.
These are all terrible. Oh my god. How am I supposed to do this one?
Maybe we should go back to medium.
Go back to medium.
Okay,
Your favorite show.
Karate.
Karate Chop.
Fight. Taekwondo. Black belt.
Black belt.
black belt.
All right. So we did get
Arrange
2.
was the one I was doing on my arm.
Arrange.
There was
Okay.
gesture in there. Believe was in there. Yodeler was in there.
Well,
We need like a medium. Yeah, we need like a medium hard.
Yeah.
A medium hard would be
But
fantastic.
you guys should go back to medium.
if anyone from Word Generator is watching, could be good. Could
Yeah.
be a good tip.
If the game gal is watching this,
Yep.
Which hopefully she is, because hopefully she sees this random spike every Friday.
yeah.
I'm sure she is.
All
Who
right.
goes next?
Who's ready? Jordan or Max?
I can do it.
That must be police sounds in Chicago?
There's a
It's
police.
Chicago.
Hello,
It's,
police.
there's a fire truck outside. Sorry.
Nice.
Fire truck, fireman, fire. Death.
All right.
Wait, ladder. Wait.
Let me know when to go.
Oh, yes. I mean, you could tell yourself when to go. Here we go.
That's true.
3, 2, 1, go.
Saxophonist.
Play.
Saxophone.
Jazz.
Saxophone.
President.
Saxophone was correct.
President.
Worm. Snail.
Key.
Snake.
Snake.
Unhook. Oh my gosh.
Rabbit.
Prairie dog.
Slimy.
Hopping. Bunny.
It was tadpole. I don't know how to
Oh, that
do
was
that.
tadpole.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Sweet.
Saint.
Innocent.
Correct.
Bonnet. Grandma.
Wow, I got that on the first try.
Fall over.
Fall.
Knock.
Hammer.
Table.
Carpenter.
Nail.
Nail.
Wood.
Surface.
Wood.
2x4.
Building.
Uh,
Build.
Forearm.
you're hammering a
Chopping
nail.
into
It's
Chop
plywood.
my life into pieces. Was that your own resort?
It's
Is that your life
plank.
resort?
It's plank.
What? It's blank.
Plank.
Plank.
Oh, plank.
Plank. That one we already did.
Tube.
Camera. Video camera. Movie camera. Film
Oh,
camera.
Video camera. Video
Oh
camera.
my god.
Nice.
It almost looked like you've never used one before. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Webbing. Web.
Spider-Man.
Web.
Heart-
Spiderweb.
Spider.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
That's it.
Why are your words
Okay.
all connecting to our stories today?
I don't know.
Reading.
Read.
Correct.
Peruse. Oh gosh.
All right, that's it.
Disgusted by the book. I
1,
don't-
2,
That-
3,
that
4,
was
5.
stain. I don't know how to do stain.
That was stain.
Why did you look at a book for stain?
I don't know. I was panicking.
And it's my go-to charade.
Yes. Oh.
I'm reading, and there's a spot there.
All right. Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, just be like, oh.
Yeah. That would have been better.
All right, so far we got me, unknown, Jeff 2, Max 5. So Jordan, you got to beat
wasn't Jeff.
5.
That's
All right.
kind of unfair for Jeff because his was not hard.
Yeah,
All right.
these are worth at least double,
Mhm.
right? Because they're hard.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
think so.
Yeah, so you got
So it's
4.
up to
I'll take-
4.
I'll take 4.
Yep. Yeah, they're at least worth 2.5. So Max and Jeff are tied.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll
and
say that.
honestly,
We'll
you
say
probably had at least 5, so it's a 3-way tie right
Yeah, I think I was like at
Oh,
4-8, unfortunately.
that. Oh man,
Yeah.
we're all at the same level.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
Wow. Funny how that works.
All right, Jordan.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, go. Running, run,
Running.
walk,
Walking.
Jog.
jog,
Jog.
jogging.
Jog. Of course you two get that.
1, pass,
There's
run,
racing, running, marathon.
jog, narrow,
Step.
stepping,
One place to the other.
run,
Rock.
run from one
Running.
place to another.
Moving.
Moving.
uh,
Yeah,
Moving.
You got it.
Move. Okay.
Oh my
good.
goodness.
We did it.
Video games, play
Game.
video game. Controller,
Gamer.
Controller.
video controller, game controller,
Game controller.
Xbox
Stereo.
360 controller,
Arcade.
PS4. Ooh, dice. You're playing a game. Board game. So you're gaming.
Gambling.
Gaming?
Board game.
Gamers.
Game, gambler.
You're a gamer. Gamer
Gamer
controller.
gamblers.
Game
Monopoly.
controller.
Remember, you can pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your play.
What is it?
Play.
It was so simple. We're dumb.
Stain. Toe stain.
Toe jam. Football. Punt.
Football punt. Okay. Kicker.
Punting. Punter. Kick.
Football cunt.
Ball.
Oh, no.
Ball. Baller.
Kicker.
Kickball.
Soccer ball. Soccer ball. Kickball. But dribble.
Lapis, lapis,
Basketball.
Like,
Lapis, lapis,
place
ball.
it.
Basketball.
All right.
Oh my
Why am I
god.
getting all these balls?
I don't know.
Got a bunch of balls.
Swimming. Swimmer.
Swimmer.
Breaststroke.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right. So we're gonna do the we'll do the sudden death because you all tied according to the adjusted. You got 30 seconds and you'll go on easy.
Okay.
So we'll start with Jeff again
Okay.
and you'll get 30 seconds. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
And let me get ready so I can mark this down. By the way, the soccer ball or the ball, like whatever one that one was.
The kickball?
Kickball.
Ball, punt, football, put.
You were so close to the camera, I was like having trouble understanding what was going on. Luckily, we had Jeff.
Punt the ball punter.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. Teeth, smile.
Wow.
Smile.
Happy.
Happy.
Yes. Happy.
Eye,
Oh,
wink.
Wink.
Eye.
Eye.
Yep.
Talk.
Talking.
Okay.
Walk.
Oh, these are easy.
Wrist, watch.
Bracelet.
Wrist.
Fisting.
Oh no.
Sock, foot, toe.
No.
Big toe.
Go.
Big toe. Wiggle your big toe.
Sandwich.
Eat.
We'll take it. If it happens at the buzzer, we'll take it. All right,
What
you
I
got
would like to be doing right
1,
now.
2, 3, 4,
I'm
5, 6, 7.
Oh, you got more in 30 seconds than you did in...
7
Yeah, I
for
know, right?
Jeff.
I only
All right.
skipped one, and it was because it was all gibberish. I couldn't read it.
Max, you'll be up next.
Okay. Here we go.
Let me know when you're ready. All right. Here we go, Max, in 3, 2, 1, go. 2, ring. Ring finger, Mary.
Ring.
Statue.
Stiff, straight,
Frozen, cold,
curve, heart.
heart,
Face.
Oval. Baseball, bat, swing,
Mash.
shop,
hatch,
Tree.
tree.
Wood.
firewood.
It's
Tree.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
This is not a tree.
Not good at this.
Pour.
Pour. Water, pour. Milk.
Correct.
Milking. Okay.
Oh
my gosh. That was 30 seconds?
I am ashamed. I am so ashamed.
Let me just double check. That was 30 seconds.
Oh my god.
I am so sorry.
Next, I got
You got
seven.
you got 3.
You know, I'd like to remind everyone that this is a live stream about improv comedy. And yeah.
This was tree,
Why?
which
Okay.
commonly, this is woman or stiff,
Yeah.
straight.
Yep. I don't know what
I
to
like
tell.
how you got tree and then you're like, I'm a tree.
Just narrating my thought process would be funny if we can just take that thing and just put VO over.
Well, yeah, because you're like, okay, tree. I'm a tree, and then people are like, he's stiff. He's that's something else, and he's like, okay, no, I can't be the tree. Let me shape the tree in front of myself.
So dumb. Okay. Anyway.
All right, here we go. 30 seconds, Jordan. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Run,
Tree.
walk, happy,
Running.
Walking,
Walk.
running, run,
Happy
Run,
walking.
run.
Jogging.
speed walk,
Jog.
jogging.
Run.
Oh,
Jog,
jog. That's right.
yeah.
That was the jogging one.
ball,
Ball.
break, circle,
I'm thinking too
big,
hard.
huge,
Big.
giant,
Mountain.
Oh,
mean, mad,
angry,
sad,
frustrated,
Bad.
Not happy.
poopy.
happy, talking,
Talk.
talk,
Talk again.
feet, foot, toe,
Toe.
foot,
Love
shoe,
foot
Jam.
Shoe.
Foot jam.
Dance.
disco.
Disco
Disco.
dancer.
We'll count it. All right, let's see.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ah.
All right, sudden death.
Oh, you-
You have 30 seconds, and it's hard.
No.
Between Jordan and Jeff.
All right,
All
30
right.
seconds.
All right, Jeff, you start. Basically, just get one.
I just got to get one. What happened? Wait, what happened to my window? I had it open.
you can do this, Jeff. I believe
I
in
didn't
you.
anticipate being tied again. All right. So hard.
I didn't anticipate us being so good.
All right,
There
hard.
can
I
be
just got to get one, huh?
miracles If you.
No,
right.
I mean, you got to beat him, but I'm arguing that perhaps just one is enough.
That's true. All right.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Sad, mad, happy, tie, bow tie,
Tuxedo.
button-up shirt,
Suit,
change,
tuxedo.
transform, change.
Change.
Got one. Server,
Waiter.
waiter,
Server. Serving drinks.
take order, waitress,
Waitress. Oh my God, he's gonna get more than he.
glasses, binoculars,
Binoculars.
hunting,
Bird Soldier. Sniper.
Glasses. Goggles.
Tom Clancy.
VR goggles.
Binoculars.
Safety goggles.
Oh.
I couldn't figure out how to
All right.
mime safety.
So that counts as 2. That was good. All right, Jordan, you ready?
Hard.
Yeah.
Here we go. In 3. That's 3. 2, 1, go.
All right.
Choose. Chess.
Play.
Chess.
Oh my gosh. What?
Boat.
Boat.
Sail?
Prow.
Sailboat.
Yes.
Sailing.
Going through the waves.
Cruise ship.
Ship.
Oh my
Uh-oh, you just need one more. Peck.
Pack?
Woodpecker. Seriously?
Jordan wins.
Are you kidding?
Yay! You have 5 seconds to spare, and the crowd goes wild.
Jeff can't even handle it. He's just
Jeff is done. He's so upset.
I cannot approve of this.
He's in Ryan's frame.
I think you just played the game better, Jordan. You just got words that you could do.
I think it's.
I didn't get lucky with my words or anything.
Yeah. Well, and you did a pretty good job.
I
All right.
think so.
Well, this is probably the longest we've ever gone, and it's been a blast. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I know Jeff
Thanks.
enjoyed
Leave
his
now.
time.
He's upset.
We've got some Chinese to eat, but before we do, just give me a plug. What plugs do you guys want to share? What do you want people to watch?
You go ahead, Max.
So go to element14.com/presents to see what I do for a job. And if you want to see some improv comedy, go to tophatballoonshow.com. And then you'll see what we did for 1.5 years of our lives last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Same things. I did and do the same things. But yeah, also if you're in Chicago and you're looking for someone to do video editing, I'm available. So hey.
Nice. Get that good plug in there.
He's fantastic, I'll have to say. He's very good at what he does. So.
Good.
As
I
we all do.
appreciate it.
We've got that glowing review. And with that, thank you guys so much for coming on. Max and Jordan. Jeff, thank you for coming and playing. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you. And tune in next week. We will be broadcasting another happy hour. We don't have our person finalized for next Friday, but at the end of the month, we'll have Charlie back, and we'll be doing a series with some work that we're doing with him, Charlie from MG&E. So check that out. A bunch of short films that we've worked on. And I think that's it. We did it, guys.
Yay!
We did it.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a blast.
And let's see. Now I'll do our outro. There we go. Here we go. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.